bonjour, c'est Henri Pescarolo qui vous parle.
Henri Pescarolo welcomes us to Monterey. Hello, I'm Henri Pescarolo. I won here last year with Jean-Claude Basso in my Monterey. Well, this morning we took provisional pole position here in the wet. But this afternoon, if it's dry, we're likely to lose it to Ferrari, McLaren or Porsche. With all these cars, it's going to be a very interesting race. Well, Henri Pescarolo is one of the many greats to have won the 1,000 kilometers of Paris here at Monterey, the aging but historic race circuit on the edge of the French capital, where the sports car classic has been run on and off since 1956. The rain is heavy this year as the track hosts the 7th round of the Karcher Global Endurance GT, with factory Ferraris making a strong showing against McLaren, Jaguar, Monterey and the Porsche hordes. The Parisian circuit at 3.4 kilometers, with its famous 33-degree banking, had not seen world-class sports car racing since 1972 until last year, when Pescarolo, winner here also for Matra in 1969, came back to win for Monterey with Jean-Claude Basso. Well, the appalling weather in first qualifying claimed plenty of victims. And also visibility problems for all. The 1,000 kilometers in its great days read like a who's who of motorsport. Jean Berra, Olivier Gendebien, Pedro and Ricardo Rodriguez, Graham Hill, David Piper, Mike Parks, Jackie Eakes, Paul Hawkins, Hans Herman, Jean-Pierre Beltoise, Jack Brabham, Francois Sever, Derek Bell, Guy van Lennep and Gerard Larousse, all also winning here. Renault too is back after a 20-year absence. Well, there are 36 cars, 22 of them Porsches at Monterey, just 5 days after the 6th round of the series at Britain's Donington Park. All but one of the dominant McLaren F1 GTRs are missing this race, claiming the track, built in 1924, is too bumpy to risk damaging their cars so close to this week's Le Mans 24 Hours. And unlike last year when Ventures dominated the event, there are just 4 of the French-built sports cars here. Well, Labre Competition, the front-running factory-backed Porsche GT1 team, is also missing the race, so Bob Wallach finds a berth in Freisinger Racing's GT1 Biturbo with Wolfgang Kaufmann. French rally star Francois Chatriot is another visitor, sharing Paul Bermondo and Santiago Pucci's Aldix Ferrari F40. One of the success stories of 1995 has been not just McLaren, but the Swiss tuner Stadler Motorsport. Enzo Calderari and Lilian Breiner have won 4 races, Daytona 24 Hours, Paul Ricard, Jarama and Nürburgring in their Porsche 911 GT2, and now looking for a 5th. Well, their Stadler teammates Helmut Koenig and Renato Mastropietro have played their part too, winning at Donington Park in their 911 GT2. We took the chance to talk to the German-Italian pairing.
Yeah, it's going well. It's wonderful to work with the Stadler team. 2 weeks ago, each and other, we didn't know us. We found, we have to go to Donington because I have the car, he didn't have the money, so we started to go to Donington. Yeah, it was a wonderful race because the first practice we missed it because we have chosen the wrong tires, so we were on the 15th of the starting grid. And it was logical that we have to make a lot of pressure at the beginning, and I could do that very well to keep in pace. So the 1.5 hours were really quickly, and at the end we did have luck that the Lotus failed. And we were wondering that the Lotus kept 3.5 hours. Normally he stops after 2 hours.
So the car is still new, yeah?
Yeah, it's brand new. Now it has 6 hours on, and now we look forward to Paris.
Renato, you won Daytona 24 Hours this year with Enzo and Lilian. So these shorter races, are they just as interesting?
Well, there is a little bit difference between Daytona and the 4 hours of Karcher, GT Endurance BPR, but it's wonderful to arrive in England and win a race so important as in Donington, because Donington is a track for me wonderful. I think and I hope to make again our races in the future, because Donington is really in Europe one of the best tracks that I found. the race with Vermont was wonderful, no one problem, and the new car is running very well. GT2 is also a fantastic car, and we hope for the next race in Monterey, and why not in the future some others. Okay.
Well, McLaren has won all 6 previous BPR Series races outright, but the only one at Monterey is that of the Paris-based BBA competition team, which feels it could not miss its home event. We asked team owner Jean-Luc Maudy-Larbière if it was difficult to get to know the car.
Well,
yes, Jean-Luc told me, he said we had a lot to learn about the car, there were teething problems, so we have Marc Soud on the team to help develop the car, and we're already more competitive. Well, I don't know why the other McLaren teams are missing Monterey, he says, but I must say that the track at Monterey is very difficult. And it's very hard to set the car up to adapt to the track. But it's a car made for racing, so why not race it here? But we must be careful we don't push the car past its limit, and be especially careful on the bumps. Be flexible in our approach as the track is demanding. Well, another team still looking for that top result is Elf Habertour Racing, run by Swiss coffee importer Olivier Habertour. His Porsche 911 GT2 is shared by former world C2 sports car champion Ferdinand de Lesseps, whose famous ancestor built the Suez Canal, and by Michel Neugarten doing the Chaplin impression at the start of the program. As the weather changes, he hopes his luck will too.
Bonjour, bienvenue à Monterey pour les 1000 km de Paris. Je m'appelle Ferdinand de Lesseps et je participe dans cette course au volant d'une Porsche GT2 biturbo.
Well, Ferdinand tells us he drives a Porsche 911 GT2 bi-turbo. Let's see how he and the others get on in qualifying as morning rain turns to afternoon sun. Well, as qualifying comes to an end, it's Franz Conrad with Hermann and Ortelli in their GT2 Porsche 6. Fifth fastest, Frederick Leinemann, Otto Altenbach in their Obermeier Porsche. And then fourth fastest, also in a GT2 car, Stefan Obendorfer and Detlef Hubner for Muhlbauer. Third fastest, French touring car expert Marc Soud, who's on board the BBA McLaren with Larbière and Lecuyer. They set a time of 1:21.67 around the bank circuit. Second fastest? Well, not Anders Olafsson for once. He and Luciano Della Noce are beaten on the very last lap of qualifying by this man, Fabio Mancini, driving a Gary Ailes and Massimo Monti. So out goes Mancini, sets a stunning time of 1:21.12. Just half a second covering the top three cars. Well, Mancini told us it's great to be on pole position, have two Ferraris on the front row of the grid. Thank you to Anders, he's helped us to get the cars set up. And he was unlucky not to have pole position. Well, tomorrow I hope we can have another 1-2 for Ferrari. One car which might have been expected to challenge the Ferrari Club Italia F40s for pole was the Pilot Aldex F40 of Michel Ferté. It was not to be. Well, I had a big problem, said Michel Ferté. I lost control in the wet on the main straight. Aquaplane hit the wall on the left. It was 200 kilometers. It was a big impact, and there's a lot of damage to the car.
Et donc la voiture, j'ai eu la chance de rester dans plusieurs têtes à queue, mais au milieu de la route. Et je me suis, enfin donc la voiture, elle après est allée percuter le mur, mais au dernier moment. Donc
hit the wall again on the left and the right. Damage the suspension, bodywork both sides. So
j'ai eu beaucoup de chance.
We're very lucky if we're in the race. Well, the car will start from the 16th row of the grid.
Hello Eurosport, my name is Helmut König.
My name is Renato Mastropietro.
And now we have a break, and I hope you join us afterwards.
Thank you very much.
We're back at Monterey with me, Mark Cole. This is round 7 of the Karcher Global Endurance GT as the cars line up on the grid. Fabio Mancini taking his first pole position for Ferrari. Anders Olofsson, Ferrari Club Italia. Row 2, Mark Sword for BBA McLaren. Stefan Obendorfer for Mulbauer Porsche. Frederick Leinemann alongside on row 3 in the Obermeier Porsche. There with Otto Altenbeck and Franz Conrad, GT2 Conrad Porsche alongside them. Row 4, Wolfgang Kaufmann for Freisinger Porsche and Enzo Calderari in the Stadler Porsche. Well, 36 starters for the 7th round of the Karcher Global Endurance GT. Winners today, Gulf McLaren 4, West McLaren 2. Neither, of course, who are here. Well, there's a spin already on the warm-up lap. Mark Sood spins a McLaren. He drops back down the order. There he is, trying to catch up the field as they come up to the start. The lights are red, the lights are going to green. It's Fabio Mancini and Olofsson alongside each other in the Ferraris, but Olofsson gets the jump at the start down into the first corner. The hairpin there from Mancini, from Leinemann's Obermeier Porsche, and Kaufmann's 4th row starting Freisinger Porsche. Kaufmann pushing ahead now, and that McLaren after that warm-up lap spin looking to make up places. He should have been challenging for the lead at this moment. Further back, there's the Belmondo Ferrari, and also all those Venturas running there. Also the Chamberlain Jaguar, which we saw in the clip earlier on. Well, it's Anders Olofsson for Ferrari in the number 60 Ferrari Club Italia F40, followed by Mancini. Still Leinemann, and then Kaufmann. Kaufmann now 3rd though, having gone past Leinemann, and look at that, Mark Sood up into 5th, carving through the traffic, trying to get by Leinemann in the yellow Porsche there. Well, a quality field as always here, 36 of them pounding around the Monterey Autodrome. With its aging banking, this banking expected to take an enormous toll on transmissions, as it does in French national races. Well, already, as the race unfolds, back markers are being lapped. Sood is past the Porsches now into 3rd. He's chasing Mancini, and he takes 2nd as they go on the banking. Goes way down underneath, dives underneath. Mancini goes into the final chicane before the start-finish line and takes that 2nd place. So Sood really now getting the pedal to the metal. He knows this circuit so well from French touring car racing. Here's the battle for 2nd place. Anders Olofsson just going through the picture. BBA McLaren, Ferrari Club Italia F40. These two cars really fighting out this 2nd place now in the 7th round of the series. And what a shame the other McLarens aren't here, so we could have really seen what the competition would have been like. Also missing is the Labra competition Porsche, as we said earlier. Oh, and look at this, here goes Mancini outbraking the McLaren into the hairpin. Through he goes, back into 2nd place. So this battle raging all around the circuit. Race leader Olofsson already gone, but these two providing all the thrills at the moment. Diving into the countryside. There's Anders Olofsson, the man who won it Suzuka and at Vallelunga last year for Ferrari, but Ferrari looking for reliability to win this year despite leading a number of races. Here he is carving through traffic. And what a lot of traffic there is here at Monterey. Big crowd here today, more than 20,000 spectators. Enjoying the best in world-class GT racing. Oh, look at this. Sud is now back into second and chasing a leader, having dispensed with Mancini, but Mancini's back again a lap later before Sud can have any chance at challenging Olafsson for the lead. He's being monstered again by the Ferrari, and he's got smoke coming out of the back of the car. Has he had a problem? Mancini's trying to find a way around him. Through Le Dupont, the two bridges underneath the track, up the banking. Lap after lap, this battle goes on. Mancini trying to find a way through on the inside of the BBA McLaren. Still a lot of smoke coming out of the back of the F1 GTR though. Oh, and down at Le Dupont, he takes the lead, takes second place back. That's Mancini going for into second place. The leader just out of the picture, and the McLaren is pushed back to third. So Ferrari at the moment having the upper hand here on the old Bank Paris circuit. Well, first pit visitor, the number 80 Chamberlain Jaguar. They have got differential problems. And almost immediately, the McLaren's in the pits. He's had a collision. The car has bent suspension as well as some body damage. In the background, the number 72 Renault Alpine there of Castagna and Bourdais already out with gearbox failure after just 10 laps. For Sud, watches the team tending to this damage. It was a collision with a Porsche. There's blue paint all over the car. One of the back markers in the way. Sud will rejoin. But meanwhile, as he sits in the pits, Anders Olafsson continues to build up his massive lead for Ferrari. Weaving through the traffic, having just passed Bill Farmer's Par Motorsport Porsche, a New Zealand team that's running his car in before taking it home after Le Mans. Anders Olafsson about to hand over to Luciano Del Noce. The McLaren's back in again. This time, sadly, it's terminal. The suspension is bent, and despite the best intentions of the McLaren crew here at Monterey, there's nothing they can do. The car is out of the race, just leaving Ferrari to fight it out with Porsche and the Venturas. We've lost the Jaguar now, as Anders Olafsson still leads. New gearboxes, stronger gearboxes for these cars, done in time for Le Mans. This is really the proof here at Monterey, the bumpiest circuit of the year, undoubtedly. Conrad Porsche. As we see the second place man, Fabio Mancini, in the Ferrari Club Italia F40. Oh, some smoke coming out of that car. Does he have a problem? Well, here is the man with a problem. Ferdinand de Lesseps, we spoke to earlier. Punctured rear tyre as he hands over to Michel Neugarten. Luckily, it fell right in the fuel window, so it won't cost them any more time than it took to struggle back to the pits on a deflated tyre on a rim. Oh, there is a big problem for Belmondo, though. A big locking up there because he has a punctured front tyre in the second of the Aldix Ferraris, the red one, as opposed to the blue one of Michel Ferte, which is running further back down the field. Here is the race leader again. He's coming up through the traffic. So Belmondo in the pits. They will continue after some quick repairs. There was a problem now for the number 2 car, the 61 Ferrari of Mancini. He's collided with a back marker, has a deflating rear tyre. You can see that smoke coming off the back of the car as he goes through the left-hand corner. There it is again as the car's depressed on the banking. Now just look at this tyre at the back. Look at the left rear. No, the right rear indeed, because there's a big hole in the bodywork. He goes on, unaware perhaps, there's smoke pouring out of the car. Team manager's decided he can try and do one more lap to meet the fuel window, but coming into Dupont, the tire bursts, rips off the rear bodywork, and the car loses its brakes as well. Mancini fights it to bring it under control, having shared the car with Gary Ailes and Massimo Monti, and it's all over. The safety car comes out, it's in a dangerous position, as we see Paul Bedell here in the Lanzanti Porsche, now second from Stefan Obendorfer in the second white Porsche, and the 6th place, Eric Graham Venturi, that blue car just there in the background. Henri Pescarolo and Jean-Claude Basso, winners last year, already out in their Venturi with engine failure. Well, the safety car's out at the moment, and on the banking, there's more drama to come. Just watch what happens to this hapless Marshall at the steering wheel. Well, he's run over by the car, more shocked than hurt. As the safety car now pulls into the pits, followed by Bedell. The race is on again. Let's have a look again in slow motion at what happened. Well, the man was caught by the door. It pulled him under the car. Luckily, if you look at his legs, he wasn't actually run over by the wheel. He was run over by the door. Something he's not going to live down for a long time. Well, at the restart into the first corner, as we see the number 60 car coming in for its routine pit stop, now leading by 2 laps from Paul Bedell. Luciano Dellanocci waiting to take over, and he gets Anders Olafsson saying everything's fine with the car, no problems. They can hardly believe it. Well, here is Enzo Calderari in action in their Stadler Porsche, car that's won so many races this year. They're now lying in second place behind this car, but Bedell is in trouble. Oh dear, he has a Lanzanti Porsche's transmission brake on him. He walks away in disgust, he and Soames Langton, having done a great job. Oh, look at this. This is our GT2 leader. The car is blown up, and Enzo Calderari is going nowhere. So if it's not transmissions, it's engines being put under pressure here at Monterey. Well, the 60 Ferrari is still leading. There's Belmondo in the background with Santiago Puig and Francois Chatriot. Oh, big lock up there. That is Puig at the wheel, the car owner. He's got a rear puncher as well, so everyone in all sorts of trouble. Here's Michel Ferte, a man we've hardly seen the whole race. Oh, then his engine blows up, and Ferte will be out too. So going down literally like 9 pins. We're not going to see the other pilot car either, because Belmondo is out with transmission breakage soon afterwards. Well, here's a pit stop of interest. This is the Mühlbauer Porsche, now in second place, as Detlef Hübner hands over to Obendorfer with the BPR triumvirate there, perhaps wondering if any cars are going to survive, as the lead Ferrari with 3 laps has electrical failure after leading for 147 laps. Luciano Dellanocci at the wheel. It's all over. The electrics have failed. They pull off the track on the far side of the circuit, which leaves this car, the Mühlbauer Porsche of Stefan Obendorfer and Detlef Hübner in the lead. It's a GT2 car as well. 460 horsepower against the 650 horsepower, the McLarens, the 700 horsepower, the Ferrari. They are leading the 7th round of the Karcher Global Endurance GT Series. And they're leading from the red Par Porsche of Bill Farmer, Robert Nairn and Paul Edwards. This car here, the car which first appeared at Donington, had a great run into 7th place. And look at this. What a fine run for another GT2 car. Well, this is a huge surprise here. The Ferraris look like they had the thing wrapped up. The New Zealand car, however, has only 5th gear remaining. Hence the rather rough sounding note. It's actually because they're having to use incredibly low revs to get this car around the corner. Well, heading for the checkered flag. Bill Farmer, Robert Nairn and Paul Edwards in the Par Porsche, but this man, Stefan Obendorfer, looking to give Porsche its first win since Zhuhai 1994. Hans Mühlbauer keeping his fingers crossed in the pits as Obendorfer goes round the banking for the last time. The checkered flag's out and they take the win. Porsche wins after 6 races dominated by McLaren. Well, finishing just 2 laps behind them, Farmer, Edwards and Nairn, and finishing third, also GT2 Porsche Cycle Motorsport, Cargenton and Overy.
Okay, cut.
How does it feel?
How is it feeling? Great. When you're lucky and you win, it's the best feeling I ever knew.
Is this the best moment of your life?
I don't think it's the best moment, one of the best moments.
And of your racing career?
Yeah, it's the best one.
Right.
Yeah.
And before this, what was your best win?
I think when I was vice champion in Formula Ford 1600, it was 83, I suppose, some years ago.
And from here, what do you want to do next?
We go to Andersdorf, but it's the next one. Unfortunately, we don't drive at Le Mans because we haven't got any budget. This is Detlef Hübner, my teammate. Yes, hello.
But next year we will join Le Mans, surely.
Well, delighted winners at Obendorfer and Hübner, with Bill Farmer, Nairn and Edwards taking second, and Giuseppe Cargentan and Philippe Alvary for Cycle Porsche finishing in third place. Well, that's been round 7 of the Karcher Global Endurance GT Eurosport, of course, covering all the races. We will next be at Andersdorf in Sweden on July the 2nd. We'll be bringing the report a couple of weeks after that, so stay with us.